Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, who to rule and teach well. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, peace and blessings, salutations, as always, to sincere, Akim, Wa'akwath, listening and learning, keeping the faith and diligence of our Lord Yahweh Shai, occupying in faith and the prophecies until all is fulfilled, and Lord will, we are redeemed. So these devils are moving hardcore, implementing their agenda, and they know it's crunch time. They know their time is short, pursuant to Revelation 12:12, and as it says in that same verse, they're going to come down with great wrath. So pretty much they're on a smear campaign against Jake to make Jake the face of everything wrong. To make Jake the face of everything that's wrong with America, that's wrong with the world, to demonize those that speak out against the elite's agenda and the setting up of their NWO. And also they're coming down with great death soon to come. See, and when you consider just some months ago, there was like the news was lit up with Alligator Alcatraz and all these different new detention centers, as they called it, that they would erect. Well, they're about to use these things. And the brother Amawan Ibad, he went into a lesson the other day how these devils, how they've ordered all these guillotines, okay? All these guillotines in which, they're stationing these things in different cities, man. All right? Why would they need all these guillotines for? Well, the scriptures tell you that, some of us shall be beheaded, all right, for the testimony of a Mashiach Yahweh Shai. All right, but even these average, everyday Babylonians out here, they're going to be put to the sword as well. So I got this video right here, Palantir AI, and, basically going into it, today, they set up the database, and pretty much all Americans are on it, man. All right, so these devils are rolling, you know what I'm saying? They're not wasting no time. See? And the fact that we coming up on the 250th year of America next July, and most empires, most kingdoms only last 250 years at the max. So these devils' time is just about up. And the Lord has them in a very fervent spirit to move to pretty much do what they got to do. But at the same time, they're pumping out much witchcraft, much deception, and much slander and propaganda as well. And it's all to forward their wickedness. All right, so we're going to go ahead and check this out. Got some articles lined up as well, and of course, precepts, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying.
American citizens, today, the Palantir AI database on you is in effect. Starting today, every American citizen has a file on you for the government created by an AI company, Palantir. Everything about you is compiled in a digital file, most notably your social media. Every post that you have ever liked, commented, saved, shared, reposted is now in the database.
So you heard that? So anything that you've ever liked, all right, on social media is now within the database. And I remember it was a small hat devil, I forget her name, but she came out, I think, last year and said that we need to heavily surveil what people are saying online because, of course, within the past few years, especially within the past 2 years with the whole October 7th event and the small hats of what they're doing over there with that GENO side, okay? People are calling them out for what they're doing and also calling them out that they're not the chosen people of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So these devils are being outed on every level. So she pretty much said that we need to surveil online better to cut down on what she called hate speech. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it's all coming to, man. All right, you pretty much having a dossier on you. You pretty much having a file in these devils' database so that when they pass certain laws and legislation, because whether you want to believe it or not, these things are coming down the pipe. Matter of fact, they already have these things on the books. They just need a good reason to implement these things. And that's why they're going so hard with all the false flag events and all the black swans, because this is going to be a justifiable cause to implement the Palantir, to implement the Project Gideon. Understand? So everything is on the table. And when they implement these laws, they're going to have judgments prescribed to these laws. Okay? So if you break whatever said law that's against freedom of speech or whatever the case, they're going to be liable to throw you in prison and put you to death. These are the times that we're in. The devil is not playing, man. Furthermore, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is not playing. It's why we stress the fact that this is the time to really lock in and get yourself right, man. All right? Because time is short, and these devils know it.
That's if you create an account using your phone number, or any verifiable account like Facebook, which includes Instagram. This Palantir AI law now says you can face deportation and prison time over stuff that the government has the full authority to tell us what it is in the time. Meaning we don't know it's illegal now. We don't know what commenting on is illegal. By the way, Palantir was created and operated by Israelis. So just
see that? So the small hats are behind this technology. Really, they're behind all of this surveillance tech that's being rolled out. And that so-called big beautiful bill that Donald Trump signed into law, I believe last month or the month before. You know, time is moving so fast, you just lose track of time. But whenever he signed that big beautiful bill, it pretty much the main thing about it was to implement a surveillance state in America and to implement certain laws in which the surveillance state would be justified. Okay, and also to bring forth black swan events. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, there was a whole lot outlined in that big beautiful bill that they didn't tell you about, but you're seeing these things start to play out now.
take a guess what could land you in jail. The scary thing, this law is set up that you have zero constitutional rights over it, as it's for these.
Boom. Zero constitutional rights. And see, this is really what's going to jump off that civil war that these devils want, because the fact that they're moving now to do this, and it's pretty much going to take all your rights away. You have red-blooded, patriotic American Edomites out there that ain't going to let it go like that. All right, they're going to fight to the death to maintain their rights. You see, but that's what Esau wants. Esau wants these people to get bucked. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's why he got the National Guard in these certain cities, in these mainly Democrat cities. But, you know, he's already talking about sending the National Guard to more cities, man. Why? Because these devils are expecting major events to go down in these cities, man. And they're going to shut down travel. You know, I was watching another brother, Zadok, video yesterday, you know, where he put it out that these devils are pretty much looking to shut down travel. You know what I'm saying? To take away your passport, or, you know. So that all goes in the second Ezra, the 15th chapter, in which it says that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And this Palantir is also going to be a part of that, because it's all part of that surveillance.
Safety of America. Make sure to follow me for the newest update.
See? So it's all in the name of peace and safety. All right? It's all in the name of peace and safety. So and this is the classic order ab chaos. Create the chaos, they bring the order. And this surveillance state locking you up in prison for speaking against their wicked satanic system, all right, they're going to be justified in putting you to death. This is where we at. And for all them, you know, all you scoffers out there to talk about, oh, y'all been saying this for so long and nothing's happened. Well, guess what? It's happening now. Okay? We just bringing it to you, thus saith the Lord. But these things are happening, right? Now, let's get the articles, right? Check this out. Exclusive FBI investigating social media accounts. What was that video just going into? Looking into your social media and seeing what you like, what you posting, whose videos that you watching. And furthermore, that goes to show you right there that Esau knows what every single last one of us are watching online. Okay, all of us have a dossier on us, man. Okay, so even you brothers and sisters out there that watch our videos as well. Esau got a dossier on you, so you gonna be a target. All right. This is what's coming down the pipe. FBI investigating social media accounts that appear to indicate foreknowledge of Kirk assassination. All right, and this is going to be justification for them to implement the Palantir to where they're going to monitor in the Project Gideon. Matter of fact, for the sake of edification, real quick, let's just do this. What is Palantir? All right, for those that may not be Palantir, right? You know, for those of you that may not be, let's see here. Let me see if I can just get a quick. Okay, that's a paid for article. Because I just want to bring it out because we know Palantir is pretty much like data analysis. It's basically Big Brother. Just being everywhere, being omnipresent, watching everything that you do and reporting it back. Okay. Yeah, Palantir. Let's see this one right here. What does Palantir do? Okay, Palantir. I kind of just want to get the synopsis of what it's about, While Palantir initially catered almost exclusively to government agencies, it has since expanded into several key industries below are the most important sectors. So you have government and defense, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much, what the main function of this is. Government and defense, okay? Also the military. Government contracts remain Palantir's largest revenue stream. The company has established long-term relationships with defense and intelligence agencies. See? Intelligence, that's really what this Palantir is all about. And that's why they've been spending billions of dollars to set up this AI infrastructure, because that's what the Palantir is going to run off of, okay? Yeah, and intelligence agencies in the U.S. and allied nations. Palantir's Gotham platform is the foundation for much of this work, allowing users to sift through enormous data sets to uncover insights. Now, what are these insights? As we just saw in that video, what you're watching, what you post, what you like, what you dislike, who you're sharing these videos with. Okay, these are all the insights that Palantir has been set up to uncover. And it's all going to be used to criminalize you, related to national security, right? So if you violate these BS laws they're about to put in place, then you're going to be deemed a enemy of the state. Okay, you're going to be deemed a radical. Okay, you're a threat to national security. Counter T-ism and military operations. Palantir also supports various defense applications such as mission planning, logistics optimization, and battlefield management. These solutions are integral to operations across branches of the U.S. Department of Defense, NATO, and other military alliances. So that's pretty much the gist of what Palantir was all about. It's all about gaining insight, okay? Being eyes where the government don't have eyes, okay? Now, we can get into, real quick, Project Gideon, all right? What is Project Gideon? Yeah, check that out. Project Gideon could refer to various initiatives, including a military operation in Venezuela aimed at removing Nicolas Maduro from power, which America is currently at war with Venezuela right now, or a nonprofit organization focused on criminal justice reform. Okay. Matter of fact, let me type this in real quick. How is Project Gideon used for the internet? Right? Let's see what pops up with that. Yeah, the AI system that can stop the next attack. Project Gideon is pretty much basically stopping crime before it happens, like in the event of that Minneapolis shooting in that church. You know what I'm saying? Them devils came out the very next day and said, listen, we need to implement something online that we can know when these crimes happen before they happen. You see what I'm saying? And we can just come and scoop these individuals up and take them in. And all these events that are happening are, once again, black swans. All right? So let's read a little bit of this. Help us build the first real-time threat prediction engine for law enforcement in schools. And all these school shootings that's been happening, right? All these school shootings, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to implement these things in the schools and in every private and public sector. Gideon is an AI-powered system that scans the open web, Reddit, Discord, gaming chats, fringe blogs, and flags the signs of violent attacks before they happen. They also using it on social media. Grievance buildup, martyrdom language, tactical planning, school scouting, and extremist indoctrination. These patterns show up again and again before shootings, but there's never been a system built to catch them in real time. Until now, we're building Gideon with real operators, law enforcement veterans, and school safety officers. And when you read stuff like this, it sounds good. It's like, oh yeah, let's do Project Gideon because we can keep people safe, right? Again, going back to that peace and safety aspect that this devil always uses. All right, he always uses the talking point of peace and safety to implement his wicked agenda. And this right here is no different. So as it says, man, it's going to be used to scrub the internet, scans the open web, all these websites, all the social media platforms, okay? And if you think that they not using this on your personal phone as well, then you out of your mind, okay? This is going to be used to scan anything digital, man. So even if you text something, if you may text or be on the phone talking, to somebody about shooting up a school or going to be a martyr, or say, hey, these devils now with this technology, they're gonna be justified in coming and scooping you up. And this is a pre-attack warning system. All right, so this is gonna be super precise, super tailored down to make sure that certain type of language or talking points online can immediately be picked up and that person can be prosecuted. All right. So when you get back to this article here, it all ties in. All right. FBI investigating social media accounts that appear to indicate foreknowledge of Kirk assassination. And this is where the Project Gideon and Palantir is going to come into the play, because if he was talking like this on social media, all right, and people didn't know until now, well, they can say, oh yeah, this is why we need to implement the Palantir and the Project Gideon, because with these technologies now we can know where these assassinations are going to happen, where they're going to take place, and stop it before it occurs. But really, that's just the Trojan horse. This is going to be used to shut down free speech and to ultimately come against the average Babylonian. All right, that's what this is all about, man. All right, so hopefully so far this is making sense. Then this article here, UK free speech crackdown sees up to 30 people a day arrested for petty offenses such as retweets and cartoons. And you notice a certain theme here, okay? Because these devils, they're mainly being outed on social media. TikTok, Twitter X, I'm not really sure about Instagram so much, not really, but but the main platforms, TikTok, Twitter or X, and YouTube, what I'm saying, those are like the it's like a Rumble. You got Reddit as well, what I'm saying, to where people just having these conversations about the elites and what's going on and exposing certain information and things like that. So this is why they put retweets in there, because that directly ties back to them cracking down on social media. That's why they was talking about some months ago that they want to get rid of TikTok. And I think if in a few days they're supposed to make a decision on that. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, but people are retweeting things, people are posting, posting articles and things of that nature, and even going back to the pandemic 2020. If you posted information on your social media account, or if you made a video on YouTube going into the fact of how that whole thing was a psyop and it wasn't what it appeared to be, then they could flag you, take your video down, get your channel deleted. You know what I mean? So that same thing is coming back, but it's going to be even more hardcore. All right, because of all these events that these devils are having take place. Now there's going to be a sense of urgency to implement these laws and legislation to crack down on these events. Okay, so that's what's going on in UK. And check this out as well, because it's coming to America, man, as we've been telling you. Nigel Farage warns Americans could also face censorship and even arrest in the UK for social media posts after comedians bust. All right, and there was a comedian, I forget exactly, but he pretty much made some a comment that the elites didn't like, and they came and roped him up. All right, came and arrested him. Okay, so that whole freedom of speech and you having rights, these devils, man. Okay, they're the ones that's gonna look. Check it out. Europe's threat to American speech and innovation. Okay, so they're starting the demonization campaign. I think that's the comedian right there. All right, yeah. It says Irish comedian Graham Linehan got cuffed at Heathrow Airport Monday for allegedly running afoul of UK speech laws. So these devils ain't playing, man. These devils are really cracking down. All right. So this shows you, man, that this ministry ain't about to be going on for too much longer. Hey, the Lord about to bring this thing to an end, man, because we're already at the time where the warning is already going out. The warning is already going out, and now it's time for judgment. So that's why the Lord is putting His Spirit on these devils to implement their agenda, like how they are. Okay, and all these things that they're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? This is not nothing new to us. I mean, we know how this devil operates. Okay, we know how Esau gets down, because ultimately this man is a cunning hunter. So the way he's gonna go about his implementing his agenda, he's gonna use covert means. Okay, he's gonna use certain talking points to say, oh, well, people are dying and people are being harmed online and mental health and all this stuff, and that's all what? Peace and safety. But as it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11, that we are not, right? Verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And all these things that we going into, these are Satan's devices, man. See, this is how he's able to get a one-up on the average person that don't know what's going on, right? But to those that are watching, to those that are in the spirit of Yahweh Bashmel Shai, we well see what these devils had planned. And we know what they're going to do, man, because it's all outlined within the scriptures. Okay, and all this goes into Esau's witchcraft. Let's get that. Isaiah 47, right? Because these devils are going to have to stand on their enchantments and hope that this is going to be enough to get their NWO off the ground. Isaiah 47 and 12, it says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. Okay, because look, America, this is the modern day land of the Chaldeans. And when you go into the Chaldeans, all right, they were pretty much the sorcerers, the witches and warlocks of ancient Babylon. Okay, they were heavily tapped into the dark arts, if you will. Okay, like that's pretty much all that they were about. In America today, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, it's nothing but confusion and witchcraft and wickedness here, man. All right. So all these sorceries that they putting out there to confuse the minds. I mean, you had the Charlotte incident that whole thing was fake. That whole thing was a psyop. And who knows about the CK incident? That I mean, we really just don't know. Like, that whole thing could have been set up just for that one event. You know, we don't know if the people there were really real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these devils have deep fake technology. Like, we don't know if he really got popped or not. Like, we just don't know. I mean, it really doesn't matter. The point of it is what's going to come from this. Okay, why are they doing these things? That's the point. And this is it right here, right? And the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. So these devils going to have to stand on their sorceries and their witchcraft, man, and hope that that's enough. And see, they're going to deceive majority of the people, okay? And really, right now, the Lord got these Edomites divided, because you have some that see that are putting two and two together, and those that don't see it, they're buying into the narrative. Their minds are being swayed to come against who they have been told is the opposition. So this is why civil war is going to happen, on top of their rights being taken away, on top of these unrighteous decrees coming down. Utter chaos is coming to the streets of America, Babylon the Great, man. And there's no way around it. This is what the scriptures is prophesying, man. These devils are coming down heavy with their witchcraft, and it's working on those that it's supposed to work on. All right. When you get Isaiah 29, right? Because these devils are actively looking to Isaiah 21, and let's start at 20, right? Yeah, because these devils are actively looking to persecute those that speak the truth. All right, so in Esau's kingdom, it's a crime to speak the truth. And that right there should let you know that a liar is in charge, that the devil is in charge, man. So this is Isaiah 29:20. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. Verse 21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob, Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. Okay, so these devils, all right, the elites of Esau, Edom, they're making a man an offender for a word. Okay, again, the laws and the legislation that they're going to pass is going to justify them in these, you know, it's going to justify them capitalizing off of these black swan events, because Esau has a motto: never let a good crisis go to waste. You know what I'm saying? And that's why even if some of these events are actually real and organic, he can use his media machine, his propaganda machine, and turn it up to the max, and push his a certain narrative, man. All right, to where he looks like the good guy coming in to save the day. You know, that's how these devils operate. Let's get Revelation 2:10, right? Because it tell you that the devil shall cast some of you into prison, right? Let's start at Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Now, I don't see some spirit, walking around, or a man in a red spandex suit with a neatly shaved goatee, with a trident in his hand, going around putting cuffs on people and throwing them inside prisons, man. I don't see that. Okay, but who has the power to throw you into prison for violating freedom of speech laws or anti-speech laws? Well, it's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, just a period of time. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay, so this persecution is coming down. The scriptures speak about the persecution of the saints. Okay, and this is all going to be a trial. This is all going to be the goal of being tried within the fire, man. Okay, so we're in a time where these things are coming down, and you know what I'm saying, this is why we've been building ourselves up in the spirit, because we know and believe that these days will come eventually, man, and we're here. Okay, look, it's not that these things are far off, or these things are years. Look, man, people are already getting locked up. You saw that the Irish comedian that got locked up for violating UK speech laws, right? It's already happening in certain parts of the earth. It's only a matter of time before it comes here. And the more black swans that they throw out there, and the more fear and the more crisis actors that they put to the forefront to relay a certain narrative, it's going to look like, well, damn, we really need to crack down on this. Like, we need to do away with the Constitution and put a new system in, because the current one that we have going, it's not working. All right. This world is becoming mad. But why is that? Because the devil is in charge, man. Okay. These devils, they're the ones inducing the chaos. They're the ones putting people to death. They're the ones destroying the minds of the people, putting all these psyops out there. All right. So all these things, man, you know what I'm saying? All of this right here, psyop, Okay. Just violating people's rights, psyops, man. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out right there. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through Rakah Kadash, call halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Come Yahshua